4 years ago, I made a video called Shame on You, Apple. And the first thing I realized was that it was a big, fat mistake. So the Apple Watch is remarkable in so many different ways that I absolutely had no idea about when I actually was not a fan of it at all. It is an amazing fitness tracker, and that's the one thing about it. So I was on the treadmill, this was a few months ago, and the treadmill read 1.46 miles. The watch, it was indoors, so there was no GPS to track it. Oh, you're fine. Was 1.45 miles. So the watch is remarkably accurate. I've done a lot of research on this. Apple Watch always seems to be the most accurate compared to the other smartwatches. Now, the other thing that I did not realize about the Apple Watch is some of the bands can get extremely expensive when you buy them straight from Apple. So I got this kind of knockoff metal band for $40 at Best Buy, and it was a great purchase, and I have no regrets. I mean, I got it on Black Friday. That was kind of the thing that I kind of thought about for years. I just kind of put the Apple Watch aside and I didn't really think about it. And then I decided I was kind of fed up with Android, so I switched from my Samsung Galaxy. And then eventually I made my way to a used iPhone X, which I got a pretty good deal on. And after that, I was thinking, what's the next step? Because I don't have a Mac. But the Apple Watch was really something I just never thought about until I got the iPhone. And I'm so happy with it. The Apple Watch is an amazing device. It looks stylish. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Hold on. Oh my gosh, you're fine. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. It really is a great device. It can get expensive. There's the stainless steel Series 4 that goes for $549, which obviously is pretty expensive for a device that will probably go down in its performance compared to how it does now. It's one thing to spend $1,000 on a mechanical watch, but to spend $1,000 on something like this, I'm sorry. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Is different. But Apple really does an excellent job with it for what it is. So just the idea that I can kind of go on my watch, I can look at some maps if I'm running, I can look at maps if I'm not running, I can go on my text and scroll through them and everything. That's a really big deal. The fact that I can shift some of my watch faces, so if I want to switch it to a more analog, this is the Nike edition of this. That's one criticism that I would say of the watch, actually, that there isn't enough customization to kind of make it your own. I've kind of found my favorite watch face. It's a chronograph, so I can hit this and I can have a stopwatch. Sometimes that's nice if I'm cooking or something. Some of the other things I can do is I can kind of click heart rate and I can scroll through, look at resting, walking heart rate through the day. I can obviously check my activity feed or my bands for the day. I also have the temperature up here, which is honestly pretty convenient. If right before I leave the house, I can just kind of look at my watch and think, I should probably get a coat or something. Or maybe I decide not to put a coat because it's warmer than I think it's going to be. That's really convenient. One of the things that I absolutely love doing with the Apple Watch is my iPhone X battery doesn't last a very long time. So if I'm kind of using it at school throughout the day, I do need to put it on in charge. So usually I put it, in my room for a half hour. And sometimes if I want to go downstairs or somewhere else in the house to do something that's not sitting next to my phone, I can still get notifications from this. I will admit, in the car it's pretty nice because I can hold this button down and I can use Siri and I can text people. I can, if I, instead of the other thing about the Apple Watch is instead of the buzz in your kind of thigh, you get a little kind of buzz on your wrist, which is a little bit more apparent. Apple Watch is nice because you can get some apps. So although there's no native sleep tracking on the Apple Watch, you can still get some apps. Auto Sleep is one example. Just wear the watch to bed and then wake up and then maybe 10, 15 minutes later, so it can kind of calibrate and kind of adjust to some of the, or whatever it's been tracking. That's really convenient because it'll just tell you how many hours you slept, or what hour or what time during that sleep period you were in deep sleep or something else, or restless. That's really convenient. I would like Apple to have native sleep tracking. I don't know how far off that's going to be. Maybe they'll do it in Watch OS 6, which is, another thing. One major complaint I'll have about the new software update for this watch is that if I do put it up to my, or it worked right here, so that's not a really good example. But the point is, a lot of times I'll be in the car and I want to send a text message. I'll put it up to my kind of face and it won't work. You're supposed to be able to just kind of lift up the watch and Siri will activate. It works maybe 25% of the time, which Apple needs to get on that. But really, it's just an all-around good device. It's not obviously a replacement for your phone. I would not, if money's even sort of tight, spending $550 on a phone probably is not the best, or on the watch, probably not the best option. But overall, if you can get a good deal on a Series 3 or Series 4, if you're watching this in the future and the prices come down, it really is a nice device. And if you're doing any sort of physical activity, it acts as a good watch too. It's perfectly accurate. You never have to sync it. If you're on a plane, which I was a couple weeks ago, and you get off in a new time zone, automatically adjusts just like your phone. That's really convenient. There's just so many different options with it that, and it also looks pretty good. And that's another big thing. The point I'm trying to make is that if you have anything at all that you think the watch will help you with, get it. If you have some cash lying around, get it. It's a fantastic device. I had no idea how beneficial it would be and how much it would help me in terms of practicality, checking notifications, other things like that. If any of that seems sort of appealing to you, get it. And if you're like me, you won't be disappointed.